Hi, this is Ed Carey, and today I'm answering the evaluation question: how did you use media technologies in the construction, research, planning, and evaluation stages of my production? So, to start with, I will go straight into the research because the research came first. The way that we went about our research using media technologies that we had available was we went on YouTube instantly. Well, I went on YouTube instantly to find out some sort of music videos that attracted me in a way. YouTube was easily the best media software to use in this situation, only because it was free. It's online. There are hundreds of millions of videos, music videos on YouTube. So that it was kind of like the market to go to. It was the place to be if you want to find deconstruct music videos. Along with that, obviously we did some primary research. Primary research we went about by filming on my Canon 600D DSLR camera. We just filmed a focus group, and then from that focus group we were able to take that and put it into another technology called iMovie, which was another software, a movie making software, and we were able to cut down the focus group into a decent 5-10 minutes of important information, and then looking through that, I was able to really pick apart some really important things, really important research findings. A good example of that would be the attraction to this black and white film noir that our focus group kind of had. They really enjoyed that, and that was one of the key turning points to sticking with that idea. Another thing we used as well in technology ways was we used WordPress and Scribd to kind of log up and put all my research evidence on the blog, the WordPress blog. I would do this by, say, if I had to deconstruct a music video, I would deconstruct it in Microsoft Word, and then I'd upload it to Scribd, which would make it an online document, and then I could embed that into WordPress. This, in evaluation, was quite a strenuous way of doing it. Only because it was quite time consuming to upload to Scribd, and Scribd was quite unreliable at times. There would be times when things wouldn't embed for any reason, or I'd have to re-upload and re-upload things so they would be correct. You can't edit the document whilst you're online. So that was not the best technology I could have used in that situation, I don't think. I think that if we stuck to using Google Drive, which I'll explain later, to put up my documents and use the research on that, I think that would probably have been more efficient and probably just a better way of doing it. But anyway, so that was how we went into planning. So, as well as research, we also had to plan our music video, and this was also we did this in a very, very similar way to the way we researched. The way that we would plan was that we'd go out and film. We did some test footage. We went and filmed the location entry. We actually just drove down there and just whipped out the camera and just kind of filmed that, and then we cut them all into an iMovie film, able to kind of pull out the important parts and decent bits of information that we were able to use to plan our video. We used so iMovie was very important in that case for our planning. Another thing we used was we used a scanner app on an iPhone 5S, only because a lot of what me and George did when we were planning was sort of writing down and drawing. It's very kinetic, very visual learners, just kind of putting it down onto paper instead of sort of talking about it in a film manner like I'm doing now. So then, after we had those, after we did a bit of planning, we'd sketch out a rough digipack plan or something, I would scan that on my iPhone, and we could upload it straight to the blog that way. And the blog was therefore slowly becoming this really useful sort of place of information where if we were a bit unsure about, what location were we going to use for that shot, we're going to go back to the planning, look through the WordPress blog, and we were able to find out and figure out a lot of things. It was almost like a database, which was really, really useful for the planning. So when we also decided to construct our video, I used quite a few different media technologies in this process. I'm not sure if you call it technology, but we decided to go for a different type of lens this time instead of using a stock zoom lens, which is what most sort of filmmakers around in A2 would be using, we decided to use a 50mm prime lens, only because it forced us to think more creatively. There was no ability to zoom, so we didn't have to just stand there and zoom in and out, and the aperture was a lot lower. It was a 1.8 instead of a 5.6, and when you're filming in darker conditions, in which we were, because we were filming at night with just 2 portable lights, I mean, that was crucial, like absolutely crucial. That brings me on to when we were also constructing this, we wanted to construct that sort of film noir lighting within our video. And when we did that was we used the 2 portable lights. These were just 2 simple LED portable lights that you had to put 8 A2 batteries in, or sorry, 6 A3 batteries in them, and we could take these out and they would just show some really strong hard light. We didn't use any diffuser effects or anything like that, only because we wanted to keep that really strong light. Also, when we were constructing things like our digipack and our poster, when we were using photos instead of actual moving footage, we decided to use the editing software Photoshop CS6. This is only because when I do my photography stuff, that's the software that I use. So when we decided to try to create this digital image that was, for example, the poster, I'd go on to Photoshop and I'd do all of that. We'd do all of that on there. We'd do all of the text. We'd do all of the logos. We'd do all of everything was done on Photoshop, which, in my eyes, evaluation was the best way to do it, because we just kept it simple. We didn't try to indulge into any new different photo editing softwares or photo manipulating softwares. We wanted just to stick with what we knew, and Photoshop is very, very good at what it does, and we were able to use it dynamically and efficiently. So I think that was a really good way of doing it. Obviously, when we constructed our video, we used the editing software iMovie. iMovie was the software we used because it was simple in a way. Like what we wanted to do in our video editing wise is we wanted to have a complex, quick editing pace, which was something that people would argue, oh, you wanted to go to something to use Final Cut Pro or Final Cut to get that really intricate bit of detail in there. But because our video was quick and it was slightly rough, but in a sense that we did it purposely, iMovie worked perfectly for it, because at simple editing, at fast-paced, simple editing, able to cut shots, the decent transitions that you put in there, the fades and stuff, it has it all. So there was no need to overcomplicate that area, and I think keeping that simple allowed us to really get creative with it almost, and we managed to really, bring out some really good editing within that. So I was going to go on to our evaluation and our evaluation process, but just before saying that, I wanted to say the one big piece of technology that me and George used throughout the video, throughout creating this whole thing, throughout the construction, the research, the planning, was Google Drive and Google Mail. This is because at the time I don't have Facebook and George doesn't have a phone, which seems a little bit ridiculous for 2 media students, but so we couldn't really communicate with each other if we didn't see each other with any way that you usually would. So we decided to start using Gmail and Google Drive to give bits of information across. And Google Drive was perfect in the sense that you could drag and drop images and share them straight away to George. So if I came up with an idea for a digipack design, I could just drag that and drop that, and George would get an email through to see that he's got it, and he would see it 20 minutes later, which worked perfectly because we would just bounce off each other when constructing and planning this idea. So as we were planning it, we were able just to communicate consistently throughout Google Drive and Gmail, which was really, really, really good. But anyway, so for our evaluation process, we decided to kind of stick with what we knew, and we did another focus group of the same sort of target audience of our target audience. We did this. And we do use the technology of iMovie and stuff again because we know how useful sort of in-depth conversation can be to evaluate how efficient and how effective our video is to our target audience. So I felt that by getting that real detail instead of asking on a questionnaire, in which we did as well, we were able to really get that good primary evaluation. That's another thing we did as well, to get the sort of general, the quantity of information of whether people just, kind of agreed with the fact that it was shot in the 15mm prime lens way, whether it was editing worked or whether they just enjoyed it, whether they got it. Just the simple questions. We used Google Surveys, I think it's called. Google Surveys is another technology which allowed us to send out a survey to everyone that we wanted to almost. We sent out to 30-40 people across the age range on Google Mail, and they were all able to reply to that, and we'd get, in an Excel format, we'd get all the information spread out for us, which was really good when quantifying information and seeing whether our general target audience appreciated the video. So overall, I feel that we didn't exactly go out far and beyond in different types of media we used, only because the stuff that we had available was so perfectly effective for what we had. You know, we didn't need to use another type of editing software if we were able to creatively manipulate iMovie. We didn't need to use another photo editing software if we were able to use Photoshop effectively. You know, so I think by sticking to almost what we knew, we were able to really exaggerate our creative potential, and I think that's what made the use of technology so key in our area, is that we already knew how to use it, so when we got onto it we were able to develop our ideas a lot quicker and a lot more efficiently to what I did say in AS. So that's that. Awesome.